was looking for to read. It's about Labyrinthian in part. So we're going to go ahead and read this book. All right. I'm going to pretend that, Adarancel saw the subtitle there. A Minor Maze, Shalador and Labyrinthian. Labyrinthian's modern notoriety was gained in the early part of the Third Era. Part of the Staff of Chaos was recovered from the Labyrinthian, which became instrumental in the overthrow of Jagar Tharn, ending the Imperial Simulacrum. Okay, so at the beginning of I believe Uriel Septim Seven's reign, or maybe in the middle, right? He was kidnapped by Jagar Tharn and replaced with like an illusionary Uriel Septim that sort of ruled in his place, that was controlled by this Jagar Tharn character. And it looks like this is saying that part of a staff called the Staff of Chaos was recovered from Labyrinthian and then was used to overthrow Jagar Tharn. So I don't know which game that was in. Maybe that was in a second game? Or maybe even the first arena. But anyway, so that happened. So that's part of Labyrinthian's notoriety. And then it continues, the site has since become embedded in the minds of all subjects of the Empire, and the ruins are occasionally visited by loyalist pilgrims retracing the steps of the Eternal Champion. Okay, the namesake of Labyrinthian is somewhat less commonly known, however. The foreboding ruins were originally built as a temple to the dragons. This grew into Bromjunar, a great city of that era. That's right, when we were down in Labyrinthian, possibly in the ruins of Bromjunar, we found that plaque that referenced the city and its mighty heroes. Bromjunar is believed by some to have been the capital of Skyrim at the height of the dragon cult's influence there. Little historical record exists to verify or refute this, but it is known that the highest-ranking priests of the cult met at Labyrinthian to discuss matters of ruling. Okay. So... Right, okay, so that priest we discovered down there, that priest who was holding the Staff of Magnus, he must have been a dragon priest of this cult of the dragon in Bromjunar. They're talking about the highest-ranking priests of the cult met at Labyrinthian to discuss matters of ruling. So maybe he was one of those priests of this dragon cult. Bromjunar crumbled, however, along with the rest of the dragon cult, and the site lay abandoned for many years, a deteriorating reminder of those benighted days for the Nords. Not until the days of Shalador would the ruins come into use again. Shalador the Archmage was famous for his exploits in the First Era. Various tales tell of him battling Dwemer Legion single-handedly, building the city of Winterhold with a whispered spell, stealing the secret of life from Akatosh, or constructing Labyrinthian himself. Wow, that's kind of a lot to take in. Okay, so this is saying that Shalador came after Labyrinthian crumbled. So I guess it crumbled in the First Era. Probably, let's see, it was a Nordic city. Sometime after Alessia founded the Empire, Bromjunar crumbled, I guess. And then Shalador the Archmage comes back, I guess, and rehabilitates them? So he battles Dwemer legions, built the city of Winterhold, apparently. What's his name? Shalador. Okay. I don't know about this nonsense of stealing the secret of life from Akatosh. That seems a little grandiose. And I don't see how he could be attributed to constructing Labyrinthian when it was already ruined, but maybe reconstructing it. While many Shalador legends are hyperbole or outright fabrication, as we just discussed, we can discover some truth behind his involvement with Labyrinthian. Shalador stood at the forefront of a movement to enact higher standards among mages, and to discourage spell use amongst the common castes. So he wanted to make it more of a guild, kind of only the people that we want in will be allowed in. Um, a movement to enact higher standards, so that's good, but also bad to discourage spell use among the common cast. This effort is dubiously credited with the original organization and formation of the schools of magic and the foundation of the college at Winterhold. Consistent with this mentality, Shalador constructed his labyrinth deep within the ruins of Bromjanar to test new archmages. While navigating the destroyed city itself was not explicitly a part of the test, many candidates did not survive the journey. Shalador valued both academic knowledge as well as practical skill, and simply getting to Labyrinthian required the latter. That, I can attest to, is true. Oh, this is so cool. There's like a depiction of the maze here. I remember there was something about Shalador back at Labyrinthian, so maybe we can use this book to navigate that maze. Shalador's Labyrinthian is actually two intersecting mazes in an hourglass pattern. One maze could not be completed without exiting the other first, which makes the only existing instruction for the test especially mysterious. Enter twice, exit only once. Alteration will lead you to destruction. Only illusion shows the way to restoration. Conjure not, but be conjured instead. We can only guess at what the solution to the test may have been, as Labyrinthian became notorious not only for the number of potential archmages who died there, but for the intense secrecy of those who succeeded. Labyrinthian eventually ceased to be used, and is regarded as a symbol of a more brutal age by modern institutions for magical studies. The ruins lay empty again, overrun with wild animals and avoided by travelers. The long history and legacy of this place, however, seem as likely to be erased from our minds as the ruins themselves are likely to sink into the sea. And that's the analogy is fairly apt because, as we know, Labyrinthian is high in the mountains. Although the entire continent of Vardenfell, not Vardenfell, Yokuda, fell into the sea in the Dawn era, so, it might happen someday. Okay, so I did want to read that to get a little bit more background on Labyrinthian. Let's see what else is here. Minor Maze. Pension of the Ancestor Moth. That's kind of a weird book. The City of Stone. The Windhelm Letters. Galarian the Mystic. An Explorer's Guide to Skyrim. Nords of Skyrim. Cats of Skyrim. Really? Oh, he's talking about Khajiit. Oh, okay. Saber cats. Okay, that's kind of boring. For a second, I thought it was going to be like, cat fancy for Nords. Kolben the Dragon, Wabbajack, the Code of Malakath, Song of the Askeld Men, the Oblivion Crisis, Brief History of the Empire, Spirit of Nirn, Ingol and the Sea Ghosts, Dwemer, Grease, Book of the Dragonborn, Olaf and the Dragon. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of books here in the Arcanium. In this bookcase, there's a bookcase. I wonder if we can do a quest to... Oh, I suppose Urag sells the extra rare books.
I'm not one for commendations, but I might... So thanks.
Commendations, okay. So let's talk to him.
Archmage or not, my rules about books still stand.
Yeah, I'm sorry about taking that book. I didn't mean to. Let's see what books he has. Let's just take a quick look. Anything
scrolls.
we might be interested in.
I'm sure you'll find something useful.
Oh wait, let's get rid of our spell tomes. Just sell those. And see what he's got. Okay. On the Great Collapse. We heard some about that from Savos Aaron, but that might be worth reading. I guess we'll see. We'll see if we find it somewhere else before we buy it from him. Okay, Scourge of the Three-Quarter. Okay, nothing that great.
All right, then.
Okay, so we also have to do some training. You know, Archmage or not, there's still plenty we can learn about magic. Actually, real quick, let's take a look at our active effects. I want to make sure both regenerates are working. Yeah, that's the Archmage's robes, and then more. Okay, it's also working. Okay, so even though there's like some kind of weird bug with the face, wearing them both at the same time, it's still working. So let's actually see how fast that is. So like if I burn as much magicka as I can, right?
Why are my research materials constantly disappearing?
So I'm in the middle of a fight, I'm running, I'm running, and just like that, all my magic is back. Oh, that's so incredible. Okay, let's put the electricity away and go talk to
Once
Colette.
again, I have found very insulting notes left in my personal... You consider
That's kind of weird.
restoration a valid school of magic, worthy of study, don't you?
Absolutely.
Don't you?
Absolutely. Of course it's valid.
Good, good. Not that I require validation, of course. There are just some, and I shan't name names, who would disagree. It can make life difficult when one's colleagues fail to recognize the research one engages in.
Hmm. As Archmage, you know, I'm concerned about your welfare, Colette. Are you treated badly because of your work?
Well, no, not really. Not directly, I mean. But I know things are being said behind my back. Conversations cease when I enter rooms. I'm quite aware of what's going on here, and I will not stand for it.
She's just paranoid and it puts people off. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what have you got for sale?
Take a look.
All right, let's see what of ours we can sell to her. Okay, scrolls. We can sell Ice Spike because we know that spell. 19 gold. Okay, she's got 500 gold to start. Paralyze could be useful, and we can't, in good conscience, sell Jazargo's scrolls. Let's go ahead and... I don't think we can put an enchantment on those because they already have one, so let's go ahead and sell some of these. Sell that. And that. We need to keep that. Sell those. Need to keep that. I think we need both of those. Yeah, okay. Weapons? No. Misk? No, I don't want to sell her any of that stuff. Okay, let's see what she has. Anything? Okay, I realized, by the way, that I should never, ever buy a filled soul gem. But empty soul gems, those are worth buying, I think, right? I mean, they're hard to come by. I could loot all over the place, but ultimately I'm going to need a ton of them if I'm going to get enchanting to 100, so maybe I'll just stick to petties. Petty soul gems, yeah, 25 gold a pop. I'll just buy those. Yeah, okay. Well, petties I can use for training. What's she got in terms of books? Fast healing, what's that? Heals the caster 50 points. Wow, so that's an instant heal. That could actually be useful. I assume it's like an apprentice level spell, though. It's something that costs a lot of mana, magicka, and that, you know, I won't be able to cast. Lesser ward, steadfast ward. Turn lesser undead. Undead up to level 6. Well, that's a little late. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do too much with restoration magic.
Time.
Let's go see who else is around. We'll go over to the Hall of Countenance, where my fellow mages perform their various tasks and duties. It's such a shame about this bug. I really wish that